Welcome back. Now, at 65, Nigeria is a nation still grappling with questions about inclusion, opportunity, and sustainability, particularly when it comes to youth. With over 60% of the population, we still find that youth empowerment and it's still a policy issue, and youth in the country is very central to national development, innovation, and stability. And that brings us to talk about how we have fared with youth empowerment as Nigeria celebrates its 65th anniversary. With us in the studio this morning is God's own Onuzulike. He's a youth handler and capacity building expert. You're welcome to the program. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, how would you assess Nigeria's overall approach to youth empowerment since independence or, recently?
Well, I will not say that Nigeria has not been making effort at all. We've been making effort, but our effort is not enough. That's the way I'm going to adjudge that question. Our effort is not enough. We would not done as much as expected of us to be able to empower these youths that are out there. And that is why we are seeing the deficit. We are seeing this vacuum in the space of insecurity. The insecurity we are witnessing is as a result of this inability for us to meet up that gap of empowering and building the capacity of our youth.
All right. Briefly, where do you see the biggest progress in youth empowerment, over the last decade?
The biggest progress?
Yes, so far.
Youth empowerment. Well, I'm thinking that from the knowledge or from the information that has been on the space for a while now, talking about skill acquisition, I think some youths are beginning to tend towards that direction, and we're beginning to have some positive results in that direction. So I think results is being made towards that direction. I've seen a lot of youths, even our ladies now, attempting skills that we used to believe they are masculine skills. Yeah, we see our ladies now attempting to even drive keke, attempting to do a mechanic work and so on and so forth. And our male gender, they are also exploring other available means to help themselves, to build the capacity, and also to help themselves and their families. So I think towards that direction, we are doing much, or we are doing enough. Yeah.
Now, earlier on, you mentioned that a lot still needs to be done because there are a lot of gaps still when it comes to youth empowerment. So can you enlighten us and tell us what are those gaps that you feel that need to be filled by the government?
Actually, still talking about skill acquisition, though our youth are beginning to tend towards that direction, I still believe that they will have a lot of gap to be filled here. And these gaps is not only from the side of the youths, also from the side of the government or the people who are our leaders. We need to pay attention towards this direction to help to encourage our youths to explore these means, so as to better their own life and also to better the life of the society where they belong. So I think that there is when we talk about the gap or the lacuna, it's actually in this very direction still, because when these youths are engaged, they said an idle man is a devil workshop. When they are positively engaged, definitely we are going to have a positive result in the society. So I think that this direction also has a vacuum, and we need to cover it by encouraging them, the youths themselves, taking the bold step themselves. We have natural. I was just thinking of something. We talk about natural resources. We also talk about human resources. I think we've not explored our human resources. When we do, the youths will be out of the streets. They will be out of a lot of crime, and we'll begin to harness the positive aspect of their energy, which is not being utilized properly.
All right. Speaking of youth being out of crime and social vices, recently the president gave a speech of how they are trying to include the youth. But to what extent do you think that the youth, starting from the independence, what 65 years, to what extent do you think that the youth have been included in decision making and even in politics so far?
Well, when looking at the youth inclusion, we might not have a balanced inclusion here, but I think that the youth themselves should not just wait for them to be included. They should take up certain roles and responsibilities that will even make them relevant to be included. They should come forward so that they will be seen and be noticed, and this will only be done when they have taken the decisions themselves. So I like I said, things are not balanced. Ends are not meeting at all. Obviously, the government, they are not perfectly doing what they're supposed to do. The youth themselves, they are not also, they have laxes here and there. So, but I believe that when we all begin to take up our own responsibility individually, the gap will be closed.
Now, that leads me to ask you, because you've mentioned that while the government isn't doing their part, the youth too, should also make themselves relevant enough to be put in those spaces. Earlier on, since we're looking at Nigeria at 65, so we're looking at before and now. Earlier on, we saw many leaders emerge in their 20s, in their 30s, coming up, and they had the room to thrive and to grow. What then changed over time, or what would you say changed over time that seems to have reduced the youth participation in leadership and national decision making to the point where you are now saying that they have to make themselves relevant enough to be? Because the young people, there has been revolutions and even protests here and there concerning the governance system in the country. So you can see that the youth are actually trying to do something. So what changed over the years?
The youth are actually trying to do something, but the question could also be, what are they doing? Their energy, where are they channeling this energy to? There have been a lot of ideas, counter ideas in this space, and these things have not been helping matters. This energy, where are they channeling it to? We have youth that is telling you that education is calm, and that makes him or her to channel less energy towards that direction, acquiring the necessary education that will help the person to be relevant in the space. So their relevance, where is it concentrated? Where is it directed? Their energy, where is it being directed? So if we don't get them harness this energy directed towards the right direction, definitely in the space they will not be found relevant. They might be asking for space, but when given the space, you still see that person will not deliver. I work, of course, as a capacity builder. I have been in the space working with youth. When you have a situation where we just had a program in Maya, you have a situation where you call the youth to come for a training free of charge. They don't make themselves available. They want to go, and they are looking for one skill, soft skill, that's a skill that they don't need to suffer. I know go suffer, I know go
get rich quick.
Yeah. That is what where they are directing their, and of course the system can't work like that. Any credible, sustainable system cannot work with those soft formats. You must have to take roles and responsibility. In the scripture, if you have a promise, you have a principle to keep to get the promise. So this is not something you aspire, you just wish it and it can happen. So we have more of our youth not really channeling their energy in the right direction. They are channeling it in the wrong direction, and that is why they are not relevant in this space. So you keep going back to the old school to go and get persons to take up responsibility.
So how can the youth channel their energy in the right direction?
Well, advocacy. We need to start talking to them. We need to keep talking. The Bible says faith comes by hearing the word. We need to keep talking to them, making them see the relevance. I can't employ you to handle my organization when you don't have the market skill. You may have first class. Well, of course, we know how you got the first class. You may have even your master's, but if you don't have the market skill, if you don't have the patience required, if you don't have the entrepreneurial know-how, I can't employ you. So we need to advocate, talk to them, ask them to go for that knowledge which will make you relevant. And when you are relevant, of course, what I don't know where this office is located, whether it's not located in the center of the city, but people look for it because of its value. If you have value to present, people will look for you no matter where you are. So if they have the value, people will look for them. The government will look for them. The old school, they're already tired. They need fresh brain. But I tell you, those fresh brain are not easily found. I'm not also saying that there is this contention, but I'm also saying that those fresh brains are not easily found. Yeah.
All right. But what would you say to the people who has tried all this mechanism that you just mentioned, yet no job, no employment, no empowerment, no opportunity? And you would actually find some of them in the market, some of them barrel pushers. You would talk to them and you will see people speaking clean English. They will tell you that they are graduates. What would you say to people like this who has actually developed apathy and, no interest in politics, no interest in participation, or, what have you?
Let me start by saying that clean English doesn't really depict that someone is educated. Someone can speak clean English, and yet that person is not yet really educated. There is something I call on our platform sabificate, not certificate. Sabificate. You can have certificate, but you don't have sabi. So I don't personally believe, this is my own opinion, I don't personally believe that someone who has all it takes, these skills that we are talking about, the market skill, the entrepreneurial skill, the zeal, and has the value that should be sought after, that person should still be waiting for government to employ the person or bring the person to any position. I don't believe so. I believe that we all have the ability to establish something on our own. And in this, Nigeria is a very large market. And that is why people from different parts of the world, we are rushing into Nigeria, because it's a very big market. We can explore the market ourselves. I've given instances severally. In our platform, we teach youth, as simple as it is, how to make soap. This morning you took a bath with your soap, Abby. Yeah, and I said if we have 5 million in Enugu and we are all using one tablet soap of 700 naira for our laundry in every week, if you are using 700, she 700, myself, and we have 5 million, what it means is that we are spending 3.5 billion every week on laundry soap. And how many companies how many of those soaps are being produced here in Enugu? Most of them are produced in Lagos, but for some of them are abroad. So if we begin to produce it here, that means every week our youth, we will sit down to share 3.5 billion. We're not that one is not national cake. That one is not coming from the national. It's not allocation. It's our own efforts. Yeah. So I will need to look inward. We have all it takes inside. Even God told them in the book of Genesis chapter 10, he says, did you see what these guys have started doing that have determined to do? Nobody will stop them. Nobody will stop us if we take up the responsibility. And we should start from inside. Stop looking at these people. Of course, they are not ready to help us. They may not be even the little effort they are making may not even be coming down to us. So let's start it ourselves. We can't do it ourselves.
Right. So now I want you to just tell us something. You've mentioned so much about the entrepreneurial, youths being entrepreneurial and instead of looking for the government jobs and all the likes. Now, every youth has their peculiarity, and not everyone is entrepreneurial. There are some people that are gifted with that skill of being entrepreneurs. And I also know that we also have the corporate sector where you can also be an entrepreneur, but not in the conventional buying and selling or making soap and the like. So that is one aspect I want you to answer, because the government space and the corporate space is also supposed to be open for the young people instead of pushing it, because right now the entrepreneurial sector is getting saturated, in my opinion. And then on another note, while talking about about entrepreneurial sector, what about the funding? Because we talk about learning how to make soap, starting a business, doing this and doing that, but there's no money. Most of these young people don't have the funding to go through with this, and they don't have people to help them with the funding. So please clarify this.
I think the idea of white collar job came from the curriculum that we inherited from the colonial masters, and that it has over time helped us to form this notion on this idea that there are some persons that actually meant to be in the corporate world. See, if I employ you as somebody who has mindset that you are meant for the corporate world, and you don't have entrepreneurial mindset, you will still run that corporate world, that institution down. It takes an employer that has, an employee. Am I right? Which one?
Yes.
The person who is employed,
The
that
employee,
has that has entrepreneurial mindset to be able to run an organization. The business mindset should be there. And I tell you, from even the scripture, I keep quoting this. One of the wise men I saw in the scripture is Solomon, and he said in Ecclesiastes that the profit of the earth is for all. So how do you get your own? You are waiting for me to establish something for you to come and have it. You need to develop the capacity of having your own. Then when I get you into my own, we will now be able to harness our energy towards profitability. So I believe that the idea of white collar is entirely strange. I want you to agree with me. Then I also believe that there are some persons, maybe due to their make, maybe I believe in people's make can also have not given them the advantage of being in the space or being out there to push something. They could be inside, but if, like I said, while they are inside, they should have also the entrepreneurial mindset. Even when they are on the customer service desk, they should have this understanding of that I am an entrepreneur. This thing I'm doing here now, if I don't do it this way, if I don't act this way, definitely this organization is going to lose. There are persons have gone to offices, and you see the way the desk officers treat the customers. Obviously, you know that business is going to run down. That issue is no longer. He has been given a job, but look at the way he talks down on people. Somebody will be talking, he will be chatting, she will be on the phone. What do you want? Showing that he or she is not ready for that business. And at the end of the day, when he or she is sacked, he will go and start blaming people in government. You can't be there. So we all need to develop that entrepreneurial mindset, so that whatever we do, whether in our homes, in the office, or anywhere, or personal business, that thing will be sustainable. And of course, now I
talk about funding.
Let's look at funding. Yes. The issue of funding is obviously a challenge. It's obviously a challenge, and I think government has a lot of role to play here. But while we also look up to government, I'm not in government. I'm a civil society person. I choose not to blame them for anything, because I believe that the person there is a human being. The next person that is complaining, if you shift him to that position, he will even do worse. We need to, first of all, on our own self, change our mindset. The government has a role to play, and that role is to make funding available. Individuals also have a role to play, and I've also been teaching people how to even generate fund yourself without even depending on anybody. It's possible to start a business without even fund. And it is you bringing discipline to even your finances. Some of us are not financially intelligent. If we print our account statement in a year and see how much I have passed, we will shake our head. So that money, what happened to it? We are not financially intelligent. We didn't know how to manage that money. So we also, there are a lot of things that we are looking for inside me personally. Because if I want to start looking at them outside, I cannot get anything. So I want us to look inside and get something. I was somewhere in this town, Enugu State, and a government official gave me money to give to some youth, and it was announced to everybody. In fact, it was on camera. And by the time I dropped the money, I told my workers, I said, "Oh yeah, please put these monies in envelope, so amount." And I took the mic, and I was calling the people to come and pick their money. I was shocked that the first set I called, and I told them, check your envelope, confirm that it is so amount. People from the canopy, youths, hushed me and said, no, it's not that amount. I said, what happened? Before my presence here, they've already slashed the money. Youths, the youth leader of those communities. So sometimes we keep blaming no, it's not government. Let's start working on ourselves. Until we begin to channel this into ourselves, we will not get out of this mess. Thank you.
All right. So the National Youth Policy actually lists entrepreneurship and TVET programs, and like Empower and the rest. So to actually reach many people. But do you think these programs are creating durable jobs, or is it just temporary relief?
For me, those things, just like provisions like Empower is a temporary relief. Those is a palliative, and and unfortunately, those who are getting this palliative because they are not entrepreneurship ready, they get it, they don't put it into work. They are still waiting for it. They just keep getting it and swallowing it and waiting for it. But some person, those of few of them that has this mindset that we are talking about, they get it. They because they know that this will not be steady. It will not be continuous. They put those ones into use, and today they are doing better.
All right, but how do you think government can actually translate this into something permanent? Something immeasurable outcomes.
I will encourage the government or advise the government to build to a system that will be more enabling for these youth to on their own tribe. Or giving them these things doesn't makes no sense. On our platform, we run free training, but I tell government, whoever is coming to the power, don't give anybody cash. I've discovered from my experience, give them 100,000 naira for empowerment. You are saying you are giving them empowerment. It's not empowerment anything. The next 2 days, come and check for that. You will see 10,000 naira in that account. They've spent it for something else. If you really want to empower them, give them the tools they need. Give them the training. Create the enabling environment. Register the business for them. Help them to understand that this thing is a business. It is not you. This is now a business. And you need to treat this business like a child. Allow this business to grow. If you really want it to survive. So I want them to create an enabling environment for them. That is what I want the government to do. And then provide the startup, provide the tools, provide the materials, and then allow them to. I am advocating for incubation centers everywhere. It should be in every ward. Incubation center, not just in the state. They should be in the state, it should be in the local government, it should be in every ward, so that this youth will take advantage of this incubation center. Equip it, let them come there. Begin to take advantage of those incubation centers, and then monitor this thing, because one of our problems in this country is not policies. We have wonderful policies, but we have problem with maintaining those policies, making sure that these policies stands. Monitor those programs. Don't give it to your brother and to your sister. Allow it to be supervised by people who doesn't have any special interest, and you see these things survive. If they can't supervise it, let them call the civil society. The civil society will help them to supervise these things, oversee them, make sure that these incubation centers stands, and our youth take advantage of. If you cannot go there and now produce your stuff, go and market your stuff, and then it's your problem. But when you now discover that OKK has gone, Okafor has gone, Mbanko has gone, you will be forced to also go.
All right, you just mentioned something that struck me. You said, don't give it to your brother. What role do you think tribalism has to play when it comes to inclusion, innovation, advocacy, zoning, of these empowerment programs in Nigeria?
It's not doing us good. It's doing us more bad than good. The idea was actually for maybe equity, or is it a fairness? I don't know which one. But because of the nature of man, is doing us more harm than good. Now you get your brother there, and your brother is now doing my brother and my sister. It's not looking for those who are qualified. You ask him to go to Enugu State and pick 1,000 youths that are interested in tech and empower them. He will come here and then he's coming from Edem. You will go and pick all the Edem people. And at the end of the day, you don't have the qualified hands empowered. When you now come for a follow-up on monitoring and evaluation, you discover that nobody, and he doesn't have all it takes to even ask them questions, because they are his relatives. They are his friends. So that's the problem. So I think we have more harm than good, but let's have a balance. I also advocate for zoning sometimes when it's necessary. But while we are doing that, let's have conscience about it. If you actually zone to me, I should make sure that everybody is carried out. It's not zoned to me and my family. It's zoned to me to be able to bring out what I have to serve the whole persons that are involved.
Right. So now let's look at our education and skills development. Now, our education system, it seems, still largely produces job seekers than job creators.
Yeah.
How would you say that the curriculum can be restructured to reflect, the current realities of the job market and innovation trends?
This is one of the things I have been advocating. I think I have spoken about this on this very platform. One of our problem is our curriculum. But before now, I also used to believe that it was entirely the maybe federal government, the curriculum they are giving to. But I've come to also have a little knowledge that the states or the institutions have certain percentage of the curriculum that they are supposed to bring on board. Why they pick from the National Curriculum Agency? They are giving certain percentage. I think about 30%. So if the national is not including skill acquisition the way you want it from their own percentage, you from your own percentage make it compulsory. I have an institution in this state. I don't want to mention name because of advert. That they invited my organization and said, please, from year 1 to the last year, we want to make sure that every youth, every student in this school gain one skill. Every year, make sure you teach. They must learn one skill per year. At the end of the day, when they are passing out, they have at least 4 different tangible, productive skills. This is their own internal mechanism. This is their own internal arrangement. But they've seen that we are all producing job seekers. So they want to change the narrative. So it's possible. These things we should not wait for the government. We should stop waiting for the government. That is what I'm advocating. Let's stop waiting for them. Let's do something on our own.
All right. How would you say the digital economy has actually redefined the concept of empowerment in modern Nigeria?
Of course, it has done, and also has introduced laziness on one side too. It has also increased the level of this dependence and also the level of the soft ways of making money. Everybody has now truth. Everybody is now aspiring for digital. Of course, I can't. In fact, everything I do today is enhanced, or we do is enhanced by the digital platform. But I think some persons they are over depending on it. And I was asking someone, no matter how we all are running towards digital world, digital skills, somebody must still cook your egusi soup for you. You won't use AI to cook egusi soup. Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
These are realities.
True.
I'm not saying that digital abra. But I know, I think you understand what I'm saying. Somebody will still go to the farm to farm the tomato, to farm the cucumber. But we all are running. AI will not farm cucumber. So I advocate for digital, and I want people to go for it. But let's strike a balance. Like I said, it's also increasing the existing laziness in our youth. So everybody wants to stay in their bedroom. And they want to gather the money that is in the pocket of Trump and the one that is in their bedroom.
All right, let's look at this issue of migration. A lot of youths, the Japa syndrome is everywhere. Everyone is trying to leave the country in search of greener pastures. Now, what do you think that this trend, what does it say about the state of youth empowerment and the hope for the country?
It's still all about our mindset. Let me also use this opportunity to say this. I have said it before. If you give me free visa, is it visa or residency for United States of America, and you say leave Nigeria and go and live there, I will not take it from you. I will not take it from you. I can only visit and come back. See, if you ask some of these people that are running away, what did they run there to do? I have been opportunity to travel around several countries. When you see what our boys, some of them are doing to survive, when they come back here, you won't even collect 1 naira from their hand. They do all manner of things. It's only few that are professionals. Hello? When we look at the number that ran away, it's only few that are professionals that are actually doing something that is worth it. Majority of them are just doing all kinds of things to survive. So my question is, if you can't get your right in your father's house or in your father's land, is it in another person's land that you will get your right? It's just mindset. We are giving the wrong mindset. It is better here. It's better there. Some of us have been watching the social media. We've seen that some people are sleeping outside, even in the United States of America. They don't have homes. We have bush in every country. Every country have their own people, their own that is also suffering. So if let's change the mindset. The mindset is the major thing I want us to work on. Whether you are in Nigeria or outside Nigeria, if destiny is taking you outside Nigeria, let it be that destiny is taking you outside Nigeria, not that your village people is chasing you out of Nigeria, not that you are chasing one thing and you are now jackparing. Where are you jackparing to? What mindset? How ready are you in that your race? How ready are you to cope even with the realities there? Because when you get there, there are more realities than you even expect. Some of them are not coming back because they can't come back. If they come back, that's shame. If they have the opportunity to come back, they will come back. So I discourage our people living. Let us stay back and correct. Like I said, we have opportunity. Nigeria is a very big market. Everything you look for. See our mercenaries now. It's Togolese that are coming to do our mercenary work for us. They are coming to do our roofing work for us. Our what do they call it? POP is Togolese, is Ghana, people from other countries. Where are our youth? These things are they not supposed to take full charge of them? It gives a lot of money. Where are they? And these our youth are now running to other countries to go and do what? To go and do what? When the rate of development in this area is something else. People are building houses. We need a lot of artisans to take up those responsibilities. But we are not showing capability. We are not showing that we really we have the value that our people will look for us, and they are looking for other people. It's not good. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, let's take a step back now. There are some, issues that comes up when people talk about NGOs, youth programs. Some critics will say that some pioneers are dubious, while some lack accountability when this empowerment comes up, and some create NGOs for the sponsorship and the visibility that comes with it. I've heard stories where some persons were complaining that the person or their pioneer in charge ran off to outside country with the money generated that is supposed to be meant for the less privileged, this and that. What is your response to that?
My response to that is still what I have already mentioned it before now. The issue is not the person in power. The issue is us. So if the person in power leaves and we ask the person who is complaining to enter, he will still do the same thing or even worse. We need to work on ourselves. We need to be sincere to ourselves. Now, there are persons who establish NGOs for different purposes. Some, like you said, some persons for visibility. Some persons, it's actually a calling. They have something they have to give to the society, and they are doing it. Some persons to be able to trap the money that will be coming in and to eat the money and so on and so forth. But for whatever reasons, it shouldn't discourage anybody who has a genuine intention for whatever they want to do. Persons like us, we were not called into it because of any ulterior motive. It's for a divine purpose, and we are doing whatever we want to do. We are not looking up. I tell people this is 5 years of running an NGO and no money from the federal government, no money from the state government, and we've been training people free of charge to the tune of 20,000 youths and women across the country. Nobody, not even international community. So it's not about it. Everybody has their intent and intention.
All right, now give us a little bit detail of your NGO and how you ensure that you get to rural areas, not just urban areas, even especially those disabled, the youth, women.
Right. Well, our training, of course, is targeted. We are targeting the indigents in the society. In fact, there are sometimes when we see people who feel that they are well-to-do, we tell them to please go and look for who will take care of you. There are people we are looking for, although the training is for everybody. But we try to discourage people who are well-to-do coming to take what belongs to those who we are the indigents. Now, we made it the way we made it. We don't look at any face. Our training, of course, runs across the 36 states and federal capital territory, here in Enugu, in all the local governments, down to words. We are not interested in who is who takes the training or what. Now, towards the people who have disability, we in fact, that's also our training is all inclusive. that even blind, even the blind, in our program, one of the persons that I think two of our trainees have been interviewed by BBC. They had to come because we projected what they are doing, and BBC was like, let's be sure. They flew their crew members from Lagos. Let's go and interview this. Is it true? So the people our programs are all inclusive.
Right, that's a great thing. But just before we go, I have to ask this question. Now, some people argue that part of the problem lies in attitude of young people. Some say young people have a sense of entitlement, lack of patience, get rich quick mentality. And some people also say that the issue we have is that there is no mentorship anymore, that mentorship is a missing link between the older generation and the younger generation, so nobody to guide them through. What is your response to that?
The first you said is true. They lack patience. They are greedy. There's a lot of inadequacy. When you talk about mentorship, they are the ones that don't like mentors. The younger generation, they don't want mentors. They feel that they can mentor themselves.
You mean the young people?
The young people. They don't adhere to the idea of mentorship. They believe that, in fact, the social media is there. They don't even need anybody to talk to them. So we need to encourage them, tell them that there is a place for mentorship. And if you're a young person out there listening to us, please, there is a place for mentorship. Submit yourself for mentorship, no matter what. As no those always see So if someone has been cooking before you, has a kitchen before you, he has more utensils, old utensils. So ask questions, submit yourself for mentorship. It's going to really help you to go a long way in whatever you are doing. So the problem is not the problem of the people not offering the mentorship. There are a lot of persons are ready to offer the mentorship. We offer free mentorship. Whatever business you want to do that is within our enclave, we offer you free mentorship. But would the youth submit themselves for that mentorship? And when they submit themselves, would they follow the path given to them? You give them path, do 1, do 2, do 3. He will do 1 and drop to 9. He doesn't want to. He's impatient. He wants it. Sources.
All right. Finally, before we leave, what's your advice to Nigerian youth who feel disillusioned or excluded from, the nation's development agenda?
My advice to them is to look inward, like I keep saying, look inward. There is this thing, when you look inward and allow what God has deposited in you to find expression, everybody will start looking for you. There are people who are looking for us today. They didn't look for us yesterday because they didn't see us. But over time, when they began to see what we are doing, they said, no, this one is doing something. So go and start doing something. Harness those abilities. There's something unique about you. Every one of us, there is something unique. Bring it out. And when you bring it out, the nation will look for you. Nations will look for you. That is what the scripture even said.
All right. That was a very, very insightful conversation with you, God's own Onuzulike. Thank you for joining us in the studio.
Thank you for having me. Don't mind my voice.
Hello.
All right. Now, we just spoke about Nigeria at 65, how we have fared with youth empowerment. And we just spoke with our with God's own Onuzulike, a youth handler and capacity building expert. Now over to you, Uche.
Yes, well, that conversation is over, but the morning show isn't. As we'll be connecting to our Abuja studios, we have an interview still on Nigeria at 65 talking about has Nigeria's democracy enhanced development. We hope you enjoyed that conversation. And for now, I am Uchenna Chimdi Oluoha.
And I am Lilian Wale. Do have a great watch.